morning, gallant princes and warriors of women. This is Morgan Strong Comnick here. I want to say good morning again. Hopefully I'm a little more awake this time than my previous morning videos, but we're here and we're going on to round 6 in Disney Couples Reshuffle. Again, you probably know the premise by now, but a little bit of a reminder. Dan Wright and I, my fellow author, a friend, channel mate from Panda Power. We need to make a symbol, by the way, Dan, like a little, I don't know, it would just be fun. This is our second annual March Disney event. We did March Disney Villain Madness last year. And this year we're taking all the Disney couples that are staples, everybody knows, we're tearing them apart by force like they've never met each other. And we're reshuffling them and seeing which new couple will be the most well-known new Disney couple, at least in our competition. So we have made it through 5 rounds. I appreciate everybody voting. I hope you voted for my team, which is hashtag MPP Morgan or just, Morgan. I had Taryn and Maid Marian in round 5. Probably the most unique couple I have on my team, but it was still fun to talk about these two very wonderful Disney characters. And putting them together was very interesting. So I'm really looking forward to the next final 3 matches. Then from there, after you guys do your voting, we'll narrow it down from the results and then go down to the final 4 sets, and then final 2, and then final 1. Alright, so let's get started with number 6. Finally get to use my other hand. Yay, hello thumb. Oh, just a little side note, if I move my right hand, which is my dominant hand, a little oddly, I burnt my pointer finger and thumb very badly last night. The pizza, that was the dinner for my husband and myself, was trying to slide, and my reflex, I caught it, and of course it slid to the right where I had no pot holder, not to the left where I had the pot holder in my hand. So it hurt like the dickens, but I'll be okay. I just can't function very well. I just hate it's my dominant hand because I have writing and typing I have to do. But life goes on, brah, if you're the Beatles. So we're going to talk about couple number 6 for Team Morgan. And for Team Morgan, we have for number 6, we have the lovely Colors of the Wind. Oh, I can't fool my hair. Put my hair up on. The Colors of the Wind from 1995's historically animated film. I do that with a kind of arched eyebrow. Anyway, from Pocahontas, we have Pocahontas. And she is paired up now with the Prince from the 1959 Disney classic Sleeping Beauty. So, Prince Philip. So, Prince Philip and Pocahontas are a round 6 couple. I'm really a big fan of both of these characters. They don't get as much love, I think, as they deserve, personally. So I'm really excited to put them together. And in my research, I saw some great similarities. It's morning, can't talk. That I didn't really think about before doing my research. So here we go. Let's see what type of couple Pocahontas and Prince Philip will be for us. Pocahontas' name means spoiled child, showing how loved she is. And of course, if you know anything about history, that's not her real Indian name. That's the name that they affectionately call her. But we're going to stick with how Pocahontas is called Pocahontas in the animated film, and that means spoiled child. Or I think Little Brat was the other one. I'm a spoiled child, so I'm a little nicer. Pocahontas is a princess of her tribe, her father the chief. And that's also kind of not historically accurate. My dad's a history teacher. I like to do history research because that's how I roll. Again, chiefs were sort of elected, and if the chief would have passed away, Pocahontas' father, then her uncle, being a male, would have become the next chief. I don't know exactly what would have happened if there were no other males in line at that point, but it's kind of a mixture of monarchy and democracy is how they would pick their Native American tribe leaders, at least in Pocahontas' tribe back then. But for the Disney film, she's considered a princess, and she's still a daughter of the chief, so she's still an important young lady. So there's that. Pocahontas is resourceful, full of spirit, and not afraid to take risks. Well, obviously, she's very resourceful. She grows up around nature. They have to survive using nature, giving back to their brothers and sisters. Full of spirit. She's full of life. She loves adventure, jumps off waterfall, cliffs. That's how she is. And she's not afraid to take risks because she has to, which gets her in trouble. I think that's where the spoiled parts comes in. Yet she is also very open-minded. She sees the clouds that are coming in from the ship of the Englishmen, and she's kind of stalking them in the bushes. And instead of being fearful, like probably most people would, like, because they have shiny, dangerous-looking things, they just kind of look intimidating and are really foreign. And usually people freak out if they see anything foreign. She's curious, and she wants to get closer and interact with these people. And she's the only one that I really know in the first film that's willing to do that. Of course, she saw them first. Maybe she has a little special little place in her heart for them. But being that open-minded, I think, is very considerate. She lives outdoors and is familiar with nature and her home, the forest, so she'd be fantastic help to Philip when he has to, travel through the forest when he meets Sleeping Beauty, which he wouldn't in this case. See, that's probably how he'd meet Pocahontas, too, for the forest. I don't know if they dance. They probably do colors in the wind. That'd be hysterical. Prince Philip. Sorry, I digress. And also with the vines for Sleeping Beauty, maybe he just feels like his nobility makes him have to save the neighboring kingdom. So he goes over and he has to cut down the vines. But Pocahontas might be able to help with that somehow. Maybe the best way or a path. I'm not sure. She has a close and humorous relationship with her animal friends. Flitz is my favorite. The little, I believe he's a hummingbird. I like Flitz a lot. The other guys kind of annoyed me at times. They were fun, but they kind of annoyed me because all I did was bark or eat things. But she has a lot of fun animal companions, and Prince Philip has a really fun relationship with his horse, which we're going to talk about later. So they definitely get along there. In the film, she appears to have kind of like prophesizing abilities, since she is able to communicate with nature, talk to spirits, empathize with animals, and understand unknown languages. So a lot of people say Rapunzel is the first Disney princess to have powers, and that's very obvious. But Pocahontas kind of does in her own way, because we're not 100% clear if the film's just trying to prove maybe since Native Americans in the film are connected more to nature. Maybe they all kind of have a sense of that. But Grandmother Willow kind of seeks her out, and she's special. I don't think her best friend can do that. I don't know if they have discussion, or I remember something about that. So perhaps Pocahontas really does have a power, like a magic of sorts, and that helps her with languages. So her and Philip, which I believe they're set in France, if I'm correct. I don't quote me on that, I know it's European. They could talk, just like John Smith and Pocahontas could talk just fine. Again, she connects with animals and nature, and she senses things. So that's good. She also has unusual dreams. She kind of dreams about this coming, like something big is coming before that happens to be John Smith and his crew's arrival. And the second one, she just knows John Smith is alive. I don't know if it's from a dream, but her feelings, she knows he's alive, even though everybody else says, it's been a year, he's not alive anymore after they receive their news that he's gone. So her dreams also lead her with these abilities. And Prince Philip kind of gets involved in dreams too. So we're going to talk about that. So they're dream seers. Dream seers, dream achievers. There we go. That's their couple of tag. Dream seers, dream achievers. She does not want to be forced to wed or to be in love with the person chosen for her. That's exactly like Philip. His is a little more ironic, but we're going to talk about that later. And she is willing to make any sacrifice for her people, even her life. Every Disney princess or prince in some sort, I understand, does that. Pocahontas, though, how she throws herself over John Smith, like literally, like right before the blade's coming down. That is very, very heroic. That's, wow. I mean, because you actually see what would have happened if the blade didn't stop, or what would have happened to John Smith if Pocahontas didn't intervene. By the way, that wonderful story is most likely a myth. It's not historically accurate in most parts. I don't know. Researchers are still not really convinced on that. But anyway, so she's very brave. And she's doing it not just for John Smith, who she loves, but for her people, because she knows if he is killed, that war will set. Like, just everybody, lives will be destroyed. The village, like, nothing will be saved. So she does not only do it for John Smith, but her people. I don't know if she would have died, that would have stopped the fighting. Her father and the innate tribe might have blamed John Smith, and they still might have had a war. But it's a very noble, sentimental effort. Definitely would have had a shock factor. So Pocahontas, you go, girl. Okay, so next one, we have Prince Philip, who I think is fantastic. I love Philip. I'm glad he actually has a name. He's the third Disney prince, official prince, and he's the first one with a name. So that's awesome. Okay, here we go, Philip. Philip means lover of horses. That's great. I love it. It fits him so well because he's the first Disney hero to have a serious and adorable bond with his horse. His horse's name is Samson, by the way. And I thought that was cool because Samson from the Bible has the long flowing hair given from God. And if he cuts it off, he loses his power. He gets strength from God giving him the long flowing hair. At least that's the Samson most people know. And then his horse has like these little knobs of hair, and they look like they've been chopped off, but maybe they're like ringed around because his hair's too long. That would have been really a cool nod to Samson. I know he says his name at least one time, but I thought that was really cool. So that's a cool Disney horse fact for today. Let's see. Pocahontas also likes horses. You can, obviously, well, it's an animal, but in the second film, before she goes over to England, John Rolfe presents her tribe for her with a horse. He doesn't realize the princess is her because he kind of had an outing before that. It always happens in films. But this beautiful sandy colored horse, and Pocahontas just goes to it, ignores him, pets it, and he's just like, oh, you're the princess, and just tries to take it back, and she's taking it, and then she's all like, you're taking the gift away from my daughter, blah, 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 and she doesn't say a word. She's like, ooh, horsey. So, yeah, they can both ride horses. They both take care of horses. Philip literally loves horses. That's his name. Good thing he does. That would have been a really bad name choice if he didn't. Again, first Disney prince with an official name. Woo, you go, bro. Go, Philip. Both Philip and Pocahontas are good at stalking people in bushes in the woods. Okay, I know that sounds horrible, but hear me out. Pocahontas is watching the clouds, again, the ship coming in, and she's stalking them, and when John Smith sings his "All for my life I have searched for a land like this one," his dramatic song, she's like creeping in the trees and stalking him because she's like, wow, he's so fascinating. And then Philip's riding in the forest, and then he hears, I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. And a beautiful, like, village girl, he thinks, singing and dancing with owls and squirrels, and he's just, like, decides to stalk her in the bushes until he finds the perfect time to jump in. So, both of them not only are good at hiding in the bushes in the forest for the eye of their desire, but they're drawn to songs in the forest. That's why I said I love this couple. Their research is so interesting. Dream seers, dream achievers. That's going to be their tagline for sure. They saw what they wanted in the forest and they went and got it. Oh goodness, stalkers in the bushes. Okay. Philip did not want to marry the person he was supposed to, according to his father. He lucked out, ended up being Aurora, the girl he secretly fell in love with. So, weird writing. But just like Pocahontas, she didn't want to marry Kocoum. She didn't hate Kocoum. She just didn't want to be forced to be tied down. So, yeah, they got that in common. They could talk about how their fathers tried to rearrange them in marriage, and they can bond with that. Remember, empathizing adds connection. That's my quote for this whole event. I like how Philip is a realist about the 14th century. It's one of my favorite lines ever. And again, he just doesn't get enough credit. But they go, but father, this is the 14th century. Like, girls say, this is the 21st century, women can be businesswomen, and we can be independent, and have babies on our own. He was like, no, this is the 14th century, father. I'm a man. I can marry who I want. Basically what he was saying. So I don't know if that would have been plausible or realistic back then, but it was hilarious, and I appreciate how that makes him open-minded, just like Pocahontas. Philip goes on his guts, such as following the singing voice, listening to fairies, and fighting the dragon for love, making him resourceful and a free spirit. Again, we talked about the voice. Fairies go, hey, we're going to help you. You're in jail. I mean, I probably would have listened too, but he's like, okay. That's really question it. Hey, I'm going to fight this dragon. Why? The girl you love's in there. Okay. How do you know? I I mean, that's a lot of trust for a girl you just saw in the woods and had maybe a 5-minute conversation and a 2-minute dance with. But, well, I guess that's Disney. I guess that love at first sight thing. He didn't know she's actually back there. The fairies could have freed him to trick him to say, oh, we don't like Maleficent, you kill her, and then we'll go get whatever's in the kingdom. Maybe there's riches. Yay. I don't know. So he's very trusting, but he just kind of goes with his gut. He knew it was the right thing to do. Goes with his flow. Pocahontas is the exact same way. Kind of potentially gets him in trouble, but luckily it works out. He's a prince, so he knows royal duties. Pocahontas, their ways a little different, of course, but she's still technically the daughter of a ruler. So they both have that in common. He also has dreams like Pocahontas, but for him it's about love. Ooh, they're gonna be sharing dream journals. Definitely the dream couple. So he has dreams too about a girl, that he sees, and he's just madly in love with her. And I don't know if he actually has the dreams, or he's just copying them from Aurora. I know Aurora does. But still the fact that, dreams are very prevalent for his love story in the original film, I wanted to keep that. And Pocahontas has dreams of prophesizing, or prophesy. So, yeah. So, definitely the dream couple. He has been exposed to magic and killed a dragon by throwing a magic sword with the sword of truth and the shield of virtue. Okay, those are really good traits to have for a boyfriend. I'm just saying, virtue and trust. Truth. Yeah. It's a magic sword. Again, Pocahontas has some kind of, we believe, magical spirits and abilities. So, yeah, they definitely would be awesome together. And my last reason has no relevance to the competition, but I just had to think about it, because I don't think Pocahontas would allow this. But people used to carve their names in trees, or, I would write it on the bricks outside of Graceland. That'd be my romantic dream. Not sure my husband would approve of that, because you can write outside of bricks of Elvis's house, and you didn't know that. Big Elvis nut, just like Lilo. But anyway, I thought it'd be funny because their initials would be P plus P equals love. It's adorably funny. I don't know why. So their initials are P plus P. Okay, middle school giggling commence. I understand that, but I think it's cute. So, yeah. So we have our dreamer couples, dream seers, dream achievers, dream journalers. This is our dream couple, Pocahontas and Prince Philip. And their tagline is, once upon a dream, they met just around the riverbend. Hopefully those are pretty obvious, but once upon a dream, they met just around the riverbend. Oh, yes. Alright, guys, thank you very much. You have 2 days again, all of today and tomorrow, to vote for match 6. Again, I hope you vote for Prince Philip and Pocahontas, my team. Again, my hashtag is #MPPMorgan. Share the video, share the link to the voting. All the other information from our websites, medias, maybe videos you've missed are down below. Unfortunately, if you missed a poll, we can't help you with that. But you can still see maybe what the couples were about from the blog post or the videos, just for fun. And we would appreciate the views. Subscribing to Moon Panda Power. Definitely would love that very, very much. And we appreciate everything you guys do for us. Okay, we have 2 more rounds. So stick with us for 2 more, the first set of rounds, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, dreamers, I have to waltz away. Ta-ta.